There's a bridge coming up here, but I haven't got the mental energy to think about it. I'm just going to cross that bridge when I come to it. Hi guys, Graham here. I've been lucky enough to get out and do the Dales Way with a few friends. We're about 7-8 kilometres into it now, and we're about to stop at a Quakers meeting house, Mark tells me. So I'm not out with the usual crew. These are the guys I'm with. Mark Hindmarsh there, the project organiser, and we've got Diamond Dave in front, the heaviest rucksack and the longest legs. And we've got Ian behind with his rather beautiful Sierra Designs flex capacitor rucksack. It's a nice bag, that.
Thank you very much.
And then make sure no one falls behind, Andy, all the way from Newcastle.
Hey.
So check this out guys, little Quaker meeting house. And I think Mark was saying the idea is anyone can just come in here, take a pew, have the bait, have a rest, contemplate. It's like a, well, it's not quite like a bothy, but it's along that sort of, you know, that idea. Little visitor's book. Anyway, we're all very grateful for this place. So the first part of the walk is all along the River Wharf, and we're walking along the River Wharf now, but we're just going through some beautiful countryside, and it's just a nice nice flat grassy path, and the next stop is Bolton Abbey, so we're just going to catch a bite to eat, have a rest there, get a drink, and I'll be able to show you Bolton Abbey soon. Hi guys, the weather's taking a definite turn for the worse now. The skies have just opened, so we're waterproof sauna and stuff. We're a good 2 hours hike out from Burnsall, and then from Burnsall another hour's hike to Grassington, and that's where we're going to stop the night, the Grassington bunk beds. Bunk beds? Bunk barn. There may be bunk beds, but we're going to pitch up outside the bunk house. The bunk house. And at the minute we're in Strid Wood, so I don't know if you can see it down there, that's the Strid. Let's have a closer look. So the Strid is a bit of an infamous river, claimed lives in the past, and it's meant to be a really dangerous piece of water. It looks really narrow here, but the story is that although it's narrow, it's extremely deep, like dozens of meters deep, and like almost like a river turned on its side, and there's currents and you know, underhangs and places where you get pulled to if you jump in the water. So I'm not going to jump in the water, but I do want to take a closer look. Whoop. It's slippy, which is something I don't want to do. I don't want to slip. It does look in places like you could almost jump across, but that's something I won't be doing. You can just see how deep it is from here. Right, I better crack on because the lads are up ahead. I don't think they've waited for us. The weather's not easing up at all. We're all getting a bit soaked, so we're coming to this little handy tunnel under the bridge, and we're just going to, I don't know, hang here for a few minutes to see if the sky clears. My pants are wet.
Don't lose your gear.
So the weather's cheered itself up a bit now. We're drying off a little bit, and we're only a couple of miles from Burnsall now. We're going to take a break there. I'm just really thirsty, get something to drink. I had the bright idea of trying to lighten my load by not carrying water, because the first day's all along the wharf and I was just going to use my filter along the banks. But the reality is, a lot of it wasn't accessible, and when it was, if I'm honest, I couldn't be bothered. So had a can of Coke and a cup of tea. It's a lovely tea shop. What was it called? Tea shop? Cavendish Pavilions, part of Bolton Abbey grounds, and that's all I've had. Hi guys, so we're not far from Burnsall now, but to be honest I've hit a little bit of a wall. I haven't walked that far, we've just done 20 kilometres and there's only a few more to go, so I'll be fine. But I think part of the problem is like a low level dehydration. The idea to not carry water was just stupid. I remember reading Ray Mears years ago, and one of his bits of advice was never begrudge the weight of water in your pack, and that's exactly what I've done today. I haven't carried enough, I'm a bit dehydrated, so don't do that. And in addition, I've lost me Montane cap. It's fallen out my pocket somewhere, so I'm just retracing my steps to see if I can find it. And I'll have to catch the lads up. They'll be in the pub at Burnsall way before me. But you know, it is what it is. My own fault. Oh, you little beauty. So we're coming into Burnsall now. We're going to stop at the Red Lion pub for some quick refreshment before going on to Grassington. But it looks a lovely, pretty little village, and that Red Lion's going to be a welcome sight.
You alright, Graham?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying sitting here. It's great. The lads are all on the IPAs and the rosy cider, and I'm having a lovely pint of lime and soda.
What's my hair like?
You're talking to the wrong man, Dave. That was a very welcome pint of lime and soda. Feel loads better now. So the final leg of today is just 6 kilometres from the Red Lion to Grassington bunkhouse. So we're just cracking on, get that done, and tell you what though, I can't wait to get my tent up tonight and just lie in my tent. I'm not sure I fancy the stepping stones, so I'm going to go for the bridge. So we've just come up the hill from Grassington to Grassington bunkhouse, and the bunkhouse is full, so we're just going to camp in a field beside the bunkhouse. And I tell you, the climb from Grassington to up here was an absolute killer. I'm absolutely cream crackered, and the best thing is to get some food. We've got to walk back down into Grassington and then walk back up it, but at least when we walk back up we'll not have a rucksack anyway. I'll get my tent up and sort myself out.
What's that last called? Beyonce used a sample from I'm Too Sexy.
Hi guys, I'm absolutely exhausted, so I'm just going to get myself into my bag and have a good night's sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Hi guys, we came back down at the Grassington last night for breakfast, and I slept like a log, really good night's sleep, but because of the condensation and the constant rain, my kit did get a bit wet, so I'm in a bit of bother if I can't dry it out. But I have to say, this place here, Devonshire, has been very good to us. Great meal last night, really friendly staff, had breakfast there, let us fill up our water bottles and that, and put the wet rucksacks, just good place. And apparently this is where the film, what's it called? All Creatures Great and Small? Yeah, I don't watch it, but I'm in the room when Ray watches it, but apparently it's all done here.
Oh no, we
So just a couple of miles out of Grassington, and it's just beautiful out here. It's just green pasture land, dry stone walls, views for miles. It's more what I expected the Dales Way to be like, and the sun's out as well. I'm liking this. Feels like time for a natural rest stop. There's only an hour and a half of walking before we get to Kettlewell, and it looks like an old, maybe lime kiln here, I'm not sure. If the rain stops off, I'll get the tent off, try and dry it a little bit. Hope you can see that rainbow there. It lifts the spirit. Tomorrow's going to be the toughest day. It's 20 odd miles without any tea shops over the moors and whatnot, so we've got to stock up for that tomorrow. Proper clarity here. I've tried to keep my weight down to a sensible level on this walk, while being comfortable at the same time. And one of the things I decided to do was only bring one pair of underpants. Before you make those faces, splashed out in some merino wool underpants, made with merino wool, and you mightn't be able to wear that stuff for 4 or 5 days on end without becoming too, what's the word, rancid, offensive. Anyway, I'll let you know at the end of the walk whether they're still viable. Or maybe I won't let you know, maybe you don't want that information.
And you know where we're going to be, I guess.
So this is definitely one of my things I'm glad I brought. I'm trying to keep my feet in good nick and making sure they're dry every night before I go to sleep. Hi guys, so this is fun. Set the alarm for 6:30 this morning to get up and pack the wet tent away because we've got the longest walk of all today. Got to do 21 miles. And I think to an extent we've chosen the wrong time of year because we've got limited daylight at the end. Hence we're up so early to try and make it before it gets dark. And despite taking care of them, my feet are starting to be in a bad way. So we had quite a serious discussion last night about plan B, should this prove to be a bit too difficult. So plan B is to walk 14 miles from the campsite here to Rubblehead Viaduct. And if we time it right, we can get a train from there to within a couple of miles of the campsite and save maybe 7 or 8 miles walking. And I've been asking myself all night, would I be comfortable with getting a train for part of the way? Or would it feel like cheating? And I have to say, yeah, I could live with that if it came to it. Anyway, we'll see how today gets on. Wish us all a bit of luck. Hi guys, we're about 10 kilometres in now, and probably got another, what, 15 miles to go before we get to Dent, where the campsite is. And this is a bit of a shock to the system because it's all been quite flat along the River Wharf up to now, but we've left the river and we're now going up this fairly steep hill. So this is a superb find. We've just found a little honesty kitchen at one of the farms along the way, and it looks great. Come in here, come in here. There's a little, I don't know, they call it a nature barn up there. It's full of like animal skulls and bits of wood and all kinds of interesting naturey things.
It's a Blair Witch project.
Oh, and look at these guys here. Maybe, yeah.
Buckden.
Some lovely little wood turnings down here.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
But here is the real prize. They've got a fantastic little honesty kitchen, a boiler, cans of pop, payment board, and the honesty scan and pay thing. This is an absolute gem of a place. Hi guys, we've stopped at about, what, 16 kilometres in, just next to what looks like an old Bassel house, and we've got a good view of Whernside up there, and it's just a welcome rest. I'm going to have me cheese and chutney sandwiches I got from Kettlewell Village store yesterday. The worrying thing that's happened this morning is that the main strap on my rucksack has started to fray, the stitching on it, and it's only held together by a few threads, so I could end up doing the walk with just one rucksack strap on, which is less than ideal, but if it has to be, it has to be. Disappointing, because I usually like Montane kit. I might have to look at an Osprey Levity or something like that. If you've got any experience with the Osprey Levity, let us know, because I'm going to have a look at it. So if you can hear me over the wind, we're still on the Dales Way, but has now joined the Pennine Bridle Way, the Pennine Way, and what a pull up that hill. I'm absolutely cream crackered. How are you feeling, boys?
I want to do it again. I don't.
Said it was 20 miles.
Yeah, but we've done the half, that's all uphill. So we've just passed Rubblehead Viaduct. We didn't actually get a good view, but actually we just saw from a bit of a distance, and it was out of sight when we're continuing on the Dales Way. But plan B was to get the train. But actually we're just going to crack on. Another 11 or 12k, they'll see we're at a proper campsite at Dent. And the best thing is about this campsite is that it's meant to have a drying room and a laundrette. If it's got that, I'm a happy boy. But for now, just bear with me, we'll crack on uphill again. Tired?
Yeah.
Still a bit to go.
It's been good, but I am knackered.
We're only maybe 10k away from the campsite now, but it feels like it could be a million miles at the minute. I'm learning a few things. This is my first long distance walk, and one of the definite things I've learned is that I'm not really fit enough. Hi, so we're only a few kilometres off Dent now, where the campsite is, and Mark's been organised enough to book us into a pub for a meal, which will be great. But I've just bumped into a couple who said that the pub cancelled food yesterday, so fingers crossed there's a bit of scran on tonight. Otherwise I'm down to a little pot noodle and 3 pieces of dried mango. And I tell you, I am in the need for a proper scran. Some proper bait, do you know what I mean? Pie. I want a pub pie.
Actually, do you know, forcing us to come in, not a bad thing.
Hi guys. Honestly, really struggled today. The last 10 kilometres were an absolute grind. My feet are getting worse. I'm not sure what they look like, but I'll see you shortly. We'll see how we get on. Thank you.
Some soundtrack and porn movies.
Morning guys. So it's fair to say last night we all felt a bit afraid after that walk. It was a canny walk and we're all cream crackered by the end of it. And I think there was thoughts amongst some of it and me and all about just how we're going to do the next bit, can we actually do it and that kind of thing. But after a good night's sleep and no breakfast, the sun's out, we all feel a bit better about things. Everybody's spirits are better, it's fair to say. And Mark H might even have some words of wisdom this morning. Mark, do you have any words of wisdom?
Yes.
What are your words of wisdom?
My words of wisdom are, if you're feeling down in the dumps, you're a little bit weary, new pair of trousers. That does the trick. New socks, new trousers, new outfit, new man.
Double D, Diamond Dave, do you have any words of wisdom?
Yes, Graham. Tight boots rather than loose, and a little bit moist.
My chilies on like pizza last night, didn't I?
You didn't eat them though.
Did you eat some?
Yeah, I did.
How many of them did you eat?
4.5.
Oh, were they nice?
Yeah, I love jalapenos.
Yeah.
No, calf's too big for mother.
Ah, right, so it struggled, does it?
We've just come up a little narrow cobbly lane and well, it was quite big and the view's really opened up now, and I have to say a lot of the Dales Way has just been really beautiful. Rolling hills and sheep pasture, dry stone walls, countless farmhouses, but it's been really beautiful so far. So we're just walking through an oak forest now guys, and I have to say I love it. There's something I think special about an oak forest. A little bit magical, it's where magic happens, it's where you might find fairies. It also looks like a good place to spend time and, you know, maybe hammock. There's a bit of beech as well. It's another special tree, isn't it? A beech tree. Hi, so we're in Sedberg now, and what put a damper on it was that it's Monday, and Monday to Wednesday the whole town seems just closed down. It's got a pub called the Thursday Rambler, it's got cafes, and none of them are open at the minute. But what we found, like a miracle out the blue, was a spa on the edge of town that looks more like a supermarket. I've never been so pleased to see a spa. It's mint. So I've got some pasties. So we're getting to the Dales Way on our map, and it's basically an uncrossable river before a railway bridge. So we're going to retrace our steps up the lane and hope we find a different way to Patton Bridge. Ooh. This is all very mysterious, but there's no real guest houses or pubs here. But Mark's found us a woman who's going to let us pitch our tents in a walled garden and make us a lasagna. And he's even rang ahead and asked her to get a couple of beers each. And it's not going to cost us a princely sum. So this, it's really good. Yeah. So this is the place we're camping tonight. What I find by Mark, and I have to say it's got an incredible amount of charm, and we've been given the use of this battered old caravan as well to sit and have our lasagna and our beer. Look at this. Hi, so on the final push now from Patton Bridge to Windemere, and we're all in good spirits now. We spent the night last night at I don't know how to describe it. It was really quite a magical place. It's not a B&B, it's not a hotel, it's not a campsite. We almost found it by word of mouth, but we pitched the tents in this kind of ramshackle old walled garden in this kind of complex of land, and then got invited up to a big room in the main house that just had a roaring wood stove and had homemade lasagna and a couple of beers that our gracious host Kate had brought in for us. And I don't know if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, the book, but it was almost like travelling through the wilderness and then coming across Tom Bombadil's house, where you have this amazing gem of hospitality in the wilderness. And I know I'm romanticising it a bit, and I'm guilty of that, but that's what it felt like. And lovely people who've got the place. They're very practical. Chat to the fella, and he likes his hunting and fishing, and they're obviously very practical for what they've done and where they've done it. But there's also a really loving hippie-ish vibe about the place that really came through. And amongst our group, there's some of us who know each other better than others, and it's fair to say there's been minor tensions between the group about how best to proceed sometimes. But sitting around that table having a beer of the lasagna with our boots drying at the wood stove, it just felt like a coming together again, like a communion. And rightly so. I think our host Kate thinks of herself as someone who gives what's the word I'm looking for?
Sucker.
I'm not going to use the word sucker. Who gives rest and sustenance to weary pilgrims, and that's what we were last night. We were pilgrims. It was a wonderful place, and I did ask if I could mention it on video. So it was our hostess was the lovely Kate at Low Barn at Patton Bridge, an absolute jewel of a place. Hi guys, so this is the final push between Patton Bridge and Windemere, and we're about 7 kilometres into the morning. Personally, spirits are high, but I'm held together by micropo, talcum powder, moleskin patches and painkillers. So I'm really looking forward to getting to Windemere, sitting down, having a beer, and then seeing my lovely wife tonight. So we're now about 8 kilometres from Bowness-on-Windemere. We're getting closer to our goal, and for the first time we can see proper Lakeland fells over there. And I know fine well you won't be able to see him on the GoPro, but I can see him with my eyes, and that is a sight to lift the soul, I tell you. We've just come up a beast of a hill, and as Mr. Mark H said, it was most unwelcome. Absolutely cream cracker. I think I've said it before this trip, but just need a quick break now. Hi guys, I'm at Bowness-on-Windemere now. Just walked 80 miles from Ilkley. I haven't carried a can of beer in my bag to crack open here. I've got nothing clever to say, really. I'm just glad it's done. My overwhelming feeling is relief. But here's what I've learned.
I'm going to have to do one as well.
He's learned nothing.
He's learned never to do it
Never
again.
do it again. Here's what I've learned. I've learned that there are places in the world that still run on kindness and honesty. I've learned that X-Bed Mummy 3R mat is a great bit of kit. I've learned that super glue can help you fix a rucksack strap to get you to the end of the journey. And I've discovered that if you wear merino wool underpants for 5 days in a row, it's not too bad, but you'd want something fresh out on date night. I would say see you on the next one, but I'm not doing a long distance walk again, so have a look at these photos instead.